Salute Black Goose TV family. Nothing but love and positivity. Yahweh, my energy is through the roof right now. It's feeling absolutely amazing. So hopefully I can project some of that through the screen and put some of this good energy on y'all. And you know what I'm saying? Just keep moving and grooving. It's Monday, so I understand, you know what I'm saying? It might have been a little bit slower than usual because the start of the week. But hopefully this gets everything kind of revved up. But we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Y'all go ahead and tune in. Show some love, Black Goose family. We got some more boxing topics for y'all. And what are we going to be focusing on when it comes to this particular video? Y'all go ahead, check out the title. Y'all go ahead and check out the article. You already know what it is. We're talking about the amazing, the great Errol Spence Jr., the one and only. The one and only. That's what we're going to be talking about for this particular video. And what is it we're going to be focusing on? What are we going to be breaking down? What are we going to be getting to the nitty and gritty of? Well, it seems as if Errol Spence has made another controversial statement. Now, when it comes to Errol, obviously the controversial statement part of the game is anything that's being purposely done, like we know about a lot of other boxers that will purposely make certain statements just so people can run with it, maybe go viral, maybe have more eyes on the particular fight, especially when you're up and comer. But we all know when it comes to when it comes to Errol Spence, how he approaches his fights. He lets all the talking happen in the ring. He's never someone who's going to say something just somebody so the media can pick it up. He's never the type to say something just so the opponent can be upset with him. He's just not that type of guy, right? Everything that happens when it comes to, showing how tough he is, it all happens in the ring. He has no point of making it known beforehand because he's like, what's the point? We can't throw fists. You know what I'm saying? We can't find out who's the better man now. We can only do it when we're in that ring across from each other with a ref and the bell ring. So I might as well wait until then to do all my talking. So with that being the case, obviously, this particular statement, article, whatever you want to call it, is an interesting one. And a lot of times when it comes to the statements Errol Spence does say, you got to dissect it. You got to look at it and you got to be like, is he really meaning what he means? Because he's a man of few words, like I said before. So a lot of times it's not necessarily something that's directed or so controversial where you're like, damn, he's just disrespecting the hell out of that fighter. But a lot of times it's more of a subtle type, subcontext type statement, if that makes sense. Whatever he says, it's like, okay, you got to look a little bit deeper into that particular statement. Who exactly is he getting at? Is he disrespecting Manny? Is he disrespecting Keith? Is he disrespecting Ugas? Is he really just saying how he feels and people may take it that way? You got to try and figure it out when it comes to Errol. And a lot of times, or at least in my opinion, you really just don't know. Or you can take it this way. Whatever Errol says, that's what he means. Because a lot of times what Errol says, he means it. It's not, he never really says anything he doesn't mean. So what are we going to be talking about when it comes to this particular topic? You guys see the article. This is from World Boxing News. Errol Spence Jr. diss of Manny Pacquiao won't please Keith Thurman. Now, I have not read this article, so I don't know specifically what they're talking about. I don't know if he even dissed Manny Pacquiao, or maybe the person who wrote this article interpreted what Errol Spence said the wrong way. But that's why we're here, Black Goose TV family. We're going to look at this article, or at the very least, look at what he specifically said, and let us decide whether or not we feel like he disrespected Manny Pacquiao. So let's go ahead and get into it. I want to know what exactly is this article referring to. So I'm going to make my way down. Let's take a look. Errol Spence Jr. believes, I'm right here, guys. Errol Spence Jr. believes Pacquiao was way past his prime against Ugas, despite looking amazing against Thurman. Okay. So I see how this can be interpreted as a diss toward Thurman, maybe not toward Manny Pacquiao or Ugas, though. Okay. The comments made by the unified welterweight champion, which can get construed as a diss, doesn't reflect well on Thurman. So this is what Spence said personally himself. In case you guys can't see, this is where I am. I'm just going to keep moving on downwards. I watched the Ugas versus Manny Pacquiao fight live, but I haven't watched it since then, said Spence. I thought that the way the fight went was more because of Manny Pacquiao being a shell of himself. I've been looking forward to this fight since I had to drop out of the Pacquiao bout. I knew I would be fighting the winner. Now I've got Ugas in front of me. He's a tough champion who's been through a lot in his entire life. Thurman lost the fight before Ugas after being dropped by Pacquiao, according to Spence. Pac-Man then aged badly between fights. Spence was due to fight Pacquiao before pulling out with an eye injury. Now, as fate has it, it's Ugas and Spence next. So the pound-for-pound star is very confident about the upcoming fight. I have everything in my arsenal. Whatever Ugas brings to the table, I'm ready for it. I'm going to dictate the pace and control. I'm making him fight my fight. From what I've seen, Ugas is physical and tough. He was waving Sean Porter forward, so you know he has the fight spirit in him. I've been putting in a lot of work, and I'm not worried about my eye at all. It actually feels stronger than the other one. I'm just making sure that I'm 100% on point with everything. I'm not looking to say anything to the rest of the division, but I'm going to send my message with my performance. When I have 3 belts everyone will know exactly what that means. And let's go ahead and finish this up. Ugas will push me to another level. I knew that if I was fighting a tune-up, I could sneak snacks in that night and stuff like that. But I'm fighting someone on my level, I can't. He wants to keep living the American dream, but his challenge is beating me, and I want this belt. So obviously there was nothing necessarily directed disrespectful toward Pacquiao, Ugas, and really nothing really directed toward Thurman. But like I said, when it comes to Spence, sometimes you got to look at the subtext, all right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that the subtext or, you know what I'm saying, the underline of the statement is true, but this is all going to be speculation and allegedly and all that good stuff. But if you do look here, and he says, I watched the Ugas versus Manny Pacquiao fight live, but I haven't watched it since then. I thought the way that fight went was more because of Manny Pacquiao being a shell of himself. So obviously, as always, Errol Spence says something quick to the point, you know what I'm saying, direct, and, you know, media runs with it and takes it and puts it as a headline as this way. Now, do I disagree with the headline? Not entirely. The reason why, because you guys can see some of the videos I made before. Errol Spence has made it known that he feels Keith Thurman is just not on his radar now. There's no reason for him to fight him, etc., etc. And part of that, I'm pretty sure in his head, has to do with the fact that Thurman, you lost to Pacquiao. Ugas beat Pacquiao. So if I beat Ugas, there's no reason for me to fight you, right? Now, if you want to be a fanboy, if you want to be emotionally connected to a statement, you could say, well, how in the hell did Pacquiao all of a sudden age so rapidly between, you know, one fight? He fights Keith Thurman, and I know there was a time frame between fighting Keith Thurman and then to fighting Ugas, but you're saying, oh, he fought Keith Thurman, looked amazing. Then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, whenever the Ugas fight took place, he's just not the same, and he loses to a guy in Ugas because he just rapidly deteriorated as a boxer that fast in between fights. So that's a little disrespectful toward Manny. It's very disrespectful toward Keith, right? In my opinion, as a Keith Thurman fan, if I want to look at it from a biased aspect, me being a Keith Thurman fan, I'm like, okay, you've taken shots at Keith because you're basically saying, hey, yo, look, you got the best of Manny Pacquiao. He worked you. And then Ugas got the worst of Manny Pacquiao. So it's kind of a shot to everyone because you're saying Ugas didn't fight the best Manny Pacquiao. So you're saying there's a possibility Pacquiao would have beat Ugas if he fought the best one. So that's a slight diss at Ugas. You're saying Keith Thurman lost to the best Pacquiao. So in a sense, it's actually not a diss at Thurman if you really think about it, right? Because you're saying Thurman got the best Pacquiao and lost. But then also saying that Pacquiao rapidly, you know, declined so rapid in between those two fights is kind of saying a testament to, you know, how he felt about Manny Pacquiao. None of it's really a diss. Let's be 100 with you. You're trying to make, nothing out of something. None of it is a diss. This is his opinion. But depending how you take it, obviously you can throw a million different narratives in it. But anyways, I'm not going to keep speculating. I'm not going to keep going into such an opinionated and biased view of it. I'm just throwing different things out there, how you can interpret what he said in so many different ways, because it's Errol Spence. Errol Spence, like I said, he's going to tell you what he feels. He's not going to be long-winded, and he's going to just make it direct, and he's going to let you take out of it what you want to take out of it and leave it at that. So that's what he's doing here. BlakGooseTV family, let me know what you guys think. What do you think about this statement? How do you guys take it? Is it a diss toward Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, and Ugas? Is he discrediting the three fighters? Or is he just telling, you know, hey, this is my opinion. It's not ill-willed toward anyone. Or I don't mean to be ill-will toward anyone. It's not even coming off that. This is just my particular opinion. I'm going to know you guys' opinion on this particular situation. Y'all already know what it is, BlakGooseTV family. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, notification gang, comment as always, and keep showing love. We're going to keep growing this thing like we've been doing. Much love, y'all. I'm out.